jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, A-Side Official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know the first in the building. WCS is on deck. Now, before we get down to it, we are 26. We are 2-6. We are 26 days removed from the 1-year anniversary, y'all, of the infamous, historic T-Mobile massacre. Once again, coming to you on World Combat Sports with the PSA. We are 26 days removed from the T-Mobile massacre, an event that would change boxing forever in the heart of Las Vegas, inside the T-Mobile Arena, July 29th, 2023. There were two names, A-level fighters. One by the name of Terrence Bud Crawford. The second by the name of Errol Spence Jr. This had nothing to do with coincidence. This was a fight that was talked about, discussed, debated. This was a clear understanding of two individuals on the pound for pound list that we wanted to see fight. So many changes took place on social media speaking about this. You know, from the roots of it, over the 5 years, it really blossomed and grew into something spectacular, didn't it? Amazing how many branches that this fight sprouted over the years for the interest of the boxing fans. A lot of people ate off this fight, y'all. A lot of people ate off this fight. Am I lying? There were a lot of voices, man. There was a lot of hours internal to a day that people congregated together and spoke about wanting to see this fight finally take place. Let me ask you this question. Were you there? Were you there when all this was going on? Because I was, man. I was there. I was healthy enough, along with a lot of other people, to be able to converse about the way this fight, if it was going to happen, how it was going to happen, where it was going to happen, and if it did happen, who would win on the night it will happen. Out day in, day out about how this fight was going to end. Who would be victorious? Who was the better fighter? Who would be deemed top honors? Who would be considered the pound for pound best? I mean, when you have two gladiators like this that have been a part of the pound for pound roster for years, and then they're campaigning in the same division. One was there before the other, so he had much more of a popularity and much more notoriety as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He was much more of a name, a household name, prior to Terrence Crawford attending the division in his first fight with Jeff Horn, picking up the WBO title. Now, since they all was champions in the divisions, now it was all about the collection plate. You know what I'm saying? Now the conversation started to pick up a lot more energy to it. You know, people start saying, damn, it's a high possibility we may see these two finally fight. There's some hardware that needs to be collected, but we may finally see these two step in the ring. And look, I'm not here to take you through all the twists and turns, man, and bring out old itineraries of this shit. A lot of us was talking about this fight, coming up with all these scenarios on when we thought the fight was gonna happen. It was a lot of people that put out false information about this fight happening, you know, as far as the days. But the ray of sunlight that still remained, you know, peeking through the clouded canopy was the fact that it was no way that this fight wasn't going to happen. Sooner or later, we was going to see it. We was going to see it play out. Our only problem was we was too far away. We wasn't a part of the teams. You know, it was a whole lot of confusion. No, Crawford leaving Top Rank. That was his last fight. And then you had all the individuals that felt like they was more important than they were, you know, acting like they had every sense of word and intel that they was coming for this fight. They tried to make it about money. The fight ain't gonna happen because of money. You know what I'm saying? The fight ain't gonna happen because of money. This fighter don't deserve that fight. I mean, deserve that number and this, that, and the other. It's people that involve themselves in this equation, and their contribution wasn't necessary, nor was it recognized. It wasn't necessary, nor was it recognized. There were individuals at the top of the food chain, the shakers and mover, and the role players. They was gonna make this fight happen one way or the other. And though, you know, through trial and error, the first negotiation period in 2022, it didn't go as planned. But as they always say, if you want to put God in it, he knows best. And maybe it wasn't meant to be for the first negotiation period. Because it seemed like both fighters would have went in there for a fight of that magnitude and they would have been compensated properly. At one point in time, they was talking about this fight was on different sides of the street. And you want to say, damn, we are living in reality. But is this a glitch in the matrix? Is it something that's transparent to the naked eye that we can't see? That these motherfuckers cannot link up together to fight because they are on different sides of the street? Look, people, it was individuals that call themselves boxing fans. They was drafting up their thoughts to believe that. They say if you convince yourself over and over again, you keep on in remediation, repeating, you'll believe it. So when they went into those negotiations 2022, and Crawford had to remove himself from the table, we're talking about a guy who didn't have a promoter. He was coming over there with a small, minimal crew of individuals that he thought that was educated, professional enough experience to go in there and try and attempt to negotiate with an individual who basically at the end of it all, he couldn't make the fight happen because the funds, you know what I'm saying? Boxing is a business. He wasn't able to properly mediate this so that both fighters could be appeased when it came to making the money. You know what I'm saying? Everything goes into a fight of this magnitude has to be something that satisfies the fighters. And being that one fighter in Crawford was dollar promoter, yeah, he had to take a little bit more bumps and bruises the first time he went over there because there's certain things he didn't know. You heard him mention the hedge fund. He himself admitted he glad he did not go with the hedge fund guys because he would have had to pay them their money back with a small percentage. And that's first and foremost. They get their money back first. He learned. Love it. Loved it. That's how you look. When you go through situations like that and you're not quite at a level where you have experienced business situations, so you learn. With that experience, Crawford learned. And it's nothing no one can tell him after that because he knows now. So if he wants to pass this down to other fighters that may be under his promotional banner, he understands it because he went through it firsthand. It's called on the job. Crawford steps away into the heart of Omaha, Nebraska, beats David Avanesian. There was a lot of hate that went down because he did take that fight with Avanesian. We're saying to ourselves, well, there's a method to the madness, right? We understand certain things had to take place before we get to the grand arrival. The grand arrival was for Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence to finally fight each other. So when 2022 ushered in 23 and Crawford sent that text out, he sent that tweet and he told Spence, I'm ready when you are. Let's make it happen. And Spence didn't have a fight lined up. So it was only a matter of time before us, the consumers, we get what we was looking for. We just had to understand it's going to be something. It had to be different this time around because, if he dropped out of the negotiations in 2022 and 23, there had to be some different avenues of approach for this time around. And it happened. This shit happened, y'all. This shit happened. They returned back to the table. They had the network of all networks that's been around for quite some time. Showtime. Showtime was on deck, man. Showtime was able to be a part of a fight that's been on the horizon forever. It's almost like them stars out there, but you have the one that shine the brightest in the constellation, and you be looking up there, you're just like, look at that star, like, ah, that's a bright star, you know? It's almost like you can reach out and touch it, but we know we can't if we talking about it in that sense. But we know this fight, it's gonna come a time that this fight, we was gonna be able to see it. We just didn't know, how far it had before it descend into an arena near us. And once everything start to come together, the fighters start to talk to the public and start to look like that, hey, it seems like they've came to an agreement. It seems like the paperwork has now met its final stages with negotiations. It seems like it's going to be official pretty much. And yes, they finally came out and announced. Usually this is not the way it goes, but I guess they want to, switch it up a little bit and say, hey, y'all can drop the news. Y'all can drop the news. So, you know what I'm saying? Hardcore. Everybody heard the news that the fight was now taking place. Now the interviews started. It wasn't like we expected. It's kind of shabby on, how they did it, but both fighters was able to venture off into areas and promoting themselves for a fight that they'd never been in before. They had to engage more to their fans out here, and that's what happened. Do y'all recall when we finally got the date? Back in 2022, how these fools were putting out fake dates. You know what I'm saying? They was acting like everyone wanted to be a part of announcing the date as if no one else knew about it. And none of the dates they announced was correct. But when we finally got this date in 2023, and we found out it was July 29th, we didn't know how historic this date would be. All we know is there's been a lot of boxing fans that's been dreaming about these two getting in the ring together. When it comes to who's more competitive, who's the better fighter. You know what I'm saying? Is one fighter in Crawford, is it true what they say about his resume up to that point? Is it true what they say about Spence? That he ain't the same? Or to those saying that, well, we seen him fight Danny Garcia and Yordenis Ugas. He looks strong to me. And the Spence that we seen in there fighting them two, Terrence Crawford can't beat. Did you understand the verbal sparring once it started? It got bad, y'all. You had people going back and forth. You had friendships that was removed, erased. Motherfuckers stopped talking to one another because you was having these freaking moments, these appointments where these individuals that some of these cats don't even know they exist. They just go off the logo and all this other shit, off the title and all that. They don't know any of it. They never met him in life before. All these arguments and these entanglements, these verbal encounters that we had on social media talking about this fight. You had Terrence Crawford fans, you had Errol Spence fans, and man, it was a clash for the motherfucking ages, wasn't it? People were so freaking involved. They was invested in trying to prove their point on this fight. Look, that fight right there, this fight, it brought out some demons in some people. It brought out some demons that they couldn't even control. I'm pretty sure, truth be told, it was some individuals internal to their home that they relationships with their girl, they went through a rough patch during this time. Real talk. I mean, because just think about it. A lot of these cats, I'm just being honest, you're not staying in a goddamn 22 square foot home where you can go to one end in the West Wing and you can do a live stream and be yelling at the top of your lungs and nobody will hear you. This was the type of fight, bro, that brought together the doubters and the haters, man. You want to talk about territorial? You had a fan base out here that have been walking, you know what I'm saying, so carefree, understanding that their fighter was the best. Nobody can beat him. And they was going to be sure he showed that to Terrence Crawford come July 29th. I mean, it was amazing. It was a beautiful evolution that happened on social media. Very, very beautiful. It's amazing how this fight finally, you know, the vortex and energy all came to the core, y'all. We finally got the fight date, and the only thing we was doing is just like I'm doing now. I'm ticking down to the 1 year anniversary when it all went down last year. You know, we were so anxious, amped up. Everybody was online having all these stupid ass debates. Every time you turned around, that was a freaking discussion. That was old film. That was people talking about Gamboa. You know, there was individuals just trying to basically critique every fight of both fighters, really, but more so Crawford, because they felt that Crawford haven't really lived up to what the hype was with him. They was trying to say, regardless of him being undisputed at 140, Julius Ndongo was a nobody, even though he was undefeated. Everything that Crawford did, it was somebody there to vilipend the situation. They wanted to basically devalue it, prorate it, you know what I'm saying, and always give it a low appraisal heading into this fight with Spence, y'all. Spence came off a horrific accident, almost damn near losing his life. But yet his fan base felt like, nah, man, he's different. Are you dreaming? What's going on? Is your neural link not working properly? I'm being honest, y'all. Like, it was crazy. I couldn't quite understand why they were so distorted in believing that this dude, they thought he was immortal. I don't know how or what contaminated. It might have been some type of germs. It might have been a parasitic infection at that time. You know, when they was talking about this fight, because they made it seem like Spence was unfucking beatable. And you're talking about a fighter who never earned a championship outside of the 147-pound division. Yes, he was a part of the Olympic team, and no male fighter that year won a medal. Okay? So I think it was good that when they want to talk about their entire thought, you know, their thought process, they insulated that with the bias the way it's supposed to. They kept the ball of bias insulated real nice and warm. You know what I'm saying? They wanted it to develop into something really good. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people was out here kept saying the same thing. Spence too strong. Spence too big. You know, Spence had the best jab. Spence too powerful. They was for sure that Spence had everything it take to go in there and beat a fighter who many say that can beat everybody on Crawford's resume. And getting to that point, as you've heard me speak on it before, you're talking about individuals who are absolutely in a position to know that they have the right to better educate themselves by looking at film on fighters. That's kind of like the formats, right, of boxing. You're able to look at film on your fighter. But you know, some people may be disinterested in looking at film on a fighter if they believe that every fight that fighter has in their catalog does nothing, because they believe their fighter has fought everybody, any style that fighter ever could have ran into in the ring. Like they don't believe it's nothing they can learn from watching Crawford fight his opposition, because none of that opposition would have gave Errol Spence a challenge. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe that shit. So why should we watch film on Crawford when none of them that was across from him was to the talent level of the skill set, the technical ability of an Errol Spence Jr.? It was the biggest, like, you have to think about playing the fool. That was the biggest, the hugest misconception. They missed it. They struck out bad. They should have took the opportunity to say, well, if we can't get nothing from the film, let's just pick out Crawford's strong points and let's try to work with that. But then you will have to go back to watch the film to find out what his strong points is. But yet, if you have closed-minded trainers like DJ, aka Diddy, and he's closed-minded, so he said, you know what, his strong points in this particular fights, let's just say 5 fights. Once again, he's gonna go back to what calms him down and what gives him an over sense of confidence with this. That, yeah, we may watch Crawford win and dominate this opponent, but that opponent he's dominated is nobody. So are we truly considering Crawford, the way he dominated this opponent, to be a strong point? You know, somebody's mind, you know what I'm saying? They have to be patient. You know what I'm saying? They have to be open enough to say, I'm willing. I'm willing to kind of bloviate this just a little bit bigger than what it was, just to properly prepare my fighter. This is the art of war. This is combat. So therefore, if Crawford was shining on this particular opponent, let's just pay attention and examine some highlights that he had against his opponent, instead of, you know, him saying, well, there's no need for us to look at this because he was fighting a bum. That's pretty much what they said. Oh, he's fighting a bum. So his highlights in this fight really is nothing that's going to help us out, because we see that fighter Crawford was just in there with as a C-level fighter. Are we on the same sheet of music? This particular fight, July 29, 2023, Diddy James approached it along with his fighter with a narrow scope. Their aperture, they should have opened up the lens a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They should have opened up the lens a little bit. They should have sped up their shutter speed. So when they was taking them snapshots of Crawford's fight, it could have freezed them a little bit, and maybe it could have taught them something on what they seen actually taking place. You know, they could have fucked around with the aperture and the shutter speed. You know what I'm saying? Adjust the ISO just a little bit. They took the shit for granted based off looking up box rec, and every time somebody asked them some shit, they were saying he ain't fought nobody. Well, when he stepped into the T-Mobile Arena last year, he fought somebody. He fought somebody that was abreast to him on the freaking pound for pound list. Somebody that in a brilliant type of way, it did give us a lot of time to discuss these two fighters. It did give us a lot of time to do research on them, populate the algorithm. It did provide us a lot of time for some content creators to earn some pennies. You know what I'm saying? Earn some coins off these fighters, because when this is the big look. This was the biggest topic before July 29th. You know, Crawford and Spence was absolutely the top. I'm talking about when you talking about populated the algorithm, man. These Crawford name was the hottest topic in the YTC. You understand me? The hottest. Let me get to the chat right quick. Shout out to Mike in the building. Shout out to First and on Deck, Big Blunts and Boxing on Deck. Salute to you, brother. What's good with it? Shout out to my brother, Mr. Gumbo, a.k.a. Hot Grease, in the building. Salute WCS, my big bro. Tyrese is on deck. Salute. I see you. Arnold Brown on deck in the building. What's good? WCS afternoon. Salute to you and everyone in the chat. No doubt. No doubt. You know where we at with it. Shout out to Christopher White on deck. What's good with it, Christopher? Hope all is well your way, man. And everybody else is on deck this Wednesday. We just commemorating what's on the horizon, what's coming. I mean, the time is ticking, y'all. We 26. We 26 out, y'all. 26 DAYS out before we have this fish fry again. We 26 days out to remember and reflect on this fight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Blue Hustle in the building. What up with it, man? I see you on deck. Salute. What up, WCS in the chat? If all Buzz opponents were C-level fighters, past their prime or damaged goods, I guess EJ was all three. We can't do that. We can't say he was all three after the fact that at the hands of Terrence Crawford, the fight played out the way he did. And then we have to go back in hindsight, because they say hindsight 2020 now. In hindsight, and say what you just mentioned there, Arnold Brown, that I guess EJ was all three. Because heading into that fight, we wasn't too sure that he was even one of them. They was just always making it a point, right? To always highlight that Errol Spence did all the lifting. He did all the lifting with the WBC, the IBF, the WB. He did all the lifting. And with that lifting, they try to put him on a higher, they try to put him at the hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? They try to post him on the throne before he actually earned the crown. And see, that's where they fucked up at. We didn't have to take him in the room with a dim lit bulb through an interrogation process and say, you fucked up, right? No. You know you fucked up, right? No. You fucked up, right? When the second round came and you seen the hold on. You seen the knockdown. You said he slipped. No, what I said is that before the no. You fucked up, right? You said the first knockdown was a slip. So right off the bat, you came in here with bad intentions. You left honesty at the door. You wasn't here to see any good in anything Crawford was going to do. You was just hoping and wishing. So when that first knockdown happened, you say, well, I'm going to lie about this. I don't care what nobody thinks. I'm going to lie about this. Let's get back to the narrow aperture. Team Spence never quite seen how much of a dangerous threat Crawford was, people. Because when you get individuals that's so closed down, you know what I'm saying? They shit is so distorted. Like, they have so many defense mechanisms up. You can't break through that shit, bro. Like, you can convince them and say, maybe you need to do a little bit more research on this cat, because I know what you're saying. You say he wasn't in the Olympics. The only fight you can talk about, him and Gary Russell that got into it back in the day. You said his whole career, regardless of what championships he won, it wasn't against nobody that did anything special. I mean, you have to blame. Look, listen to me, man. Listen to me, y'all. Because some of these cats just say, it's just a garrulous expression from WCS. Listen to me when I tell you this. If you have a coach that is 2-time trainer of the year wouldn't you expect me, if that was me, right? Wouldn't you expect me to understand that when Jermell Charlo fought Brian Castano, it wasn't a clean sweep the first time around. You had to come back for a second. So what is that going to tell me heading into this fight for the first time? Why don't I try to clean it up just a little bit better? Let me white glove this motherfucker and do film study and try to pick out some areas that I believe that Crawford may excel in certain moments of the fight. Let me do that. Let me white glove the fuck out this damn preparation. Diddy James didn't want to do that shit, y'all. This is the 2-time trainer of the year. He has some real champs in his stable. He has some real champs now. For real, he has some real champs. You know, there was a lot of people, I mean, just hyping, praising, glorifying. They was like over there in goddamn Houston, Texas. Goddamn it, you can't fuck with them boys, man. Them Texas boys over there. You got Jermell Charlo. You got Errol Spence Jr. You got 2-time trainer of the year, Derek MF and James on deck, man. Y'all can't fuck with them boys. He got 2 unified champions in his stable. Man, how bright is the light for Derek James? I mean, you couldn't tell them nothing, bro. Either way they looked at it, they say it's up, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't fuck with him. But you seen how it all crashed and burned. Because not only did Crawford step in there, not only did Crawford step in the ring and set the ring ablaze, but Brian Bomac McIntyre had already sprayed the ring down with gas to begin with. What Derek James was supposed to do, Bomac, the mad scientist, did it. He dissected Errol Spence. They didn't just wait to they didn't just wait till the fight was official. Hey man, we're gonna take a little bit longer today. Keep the gym open and we're gonna watch film. They had already known that they was gonna fight him up the road sooner or later. So they had been studying and studying and studying. So when the mad scientist Bomac, they had been watching, studying. You know what I'm saying? When we doing our shit at home, he was up there watching film. See, that was a crucial mistake. There was a crucial area of being selfish by Diddy James not to watch film on Crawford, not so much as to the opponent that he was facing, but he himself as the fighter look at certain areas on how he reacted to these opponents that he was facing, because he wasn't knocking these guys out in the first round. So that was content. You know what I'm saying? That was data. That was analytics that you could have collected from Crawford's fight. And you could have employed that to the strategy that you had walking in there July 29th. To go to that night, 2 teams, 1 fight. Years in the making. All the weigh-ins and all that shit was done. We finally at the fight. We get the opening bell. I mean, there was a lot of anticipation in there. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of anticipation that was going on. There's people who bet big money on the fight, both on Crawford and Spence. This finally happened over years and years and years, y'all. This shit finally fucking happened. Can you imagine all the man hours we put in to get to this point? To see the first round go down the way it is, 3 minutes per round, to see that 3 minutes tick the clock. No real drama. No real drama. But who would have known from the second round to the ninth round? The chaos would become unbearable, y'all. It would become unbearable, not so much for the Crawford fan base, but for those individuals, those supporters who was high, dedicated, committed to understanding that Spence was 28-0, and they felt like that Thundercat. They felt like that Texas Thundercat was going to do some shit tonight to finally shut everybody up. They felt like Errol Spence was when the second round hit and we seen that first knockdown. I'm pretty sure, like me, I ain't gonna lie, it's on record. I was eating, I was partaking in some fried seafood, right? This is seriously real talk. I don't need to put it on my dead frog. You know what I'm saying? A couple of mosquitoes that I smacked and killed. When he dropped him, initially when I was paying attention to the fight, I didn't even jump out my chair, right? Because I was already standing up. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of like, okay, this is going to get interesting. And I had my plate close by, and I was eating on a shrimp, right? I was already standing up. So when he knocked him down, I didn't even jump up or anything. I didn't get all overexcited. I just felt like, okay, now it's real. Now the shit's real. Respectfully, shit just got real. I seen how easily he dropped Spence. I did not jump up. My soles of my feet did not leave the ground. It just seems like, okay, I'm in a domestic ayahuasca. It seems like a sense of euphoria came over me. I say, finally, we get this fight. And finally, the shit's playing out like I figure it would, that Crawford would dominate. Boom, he drops him. I'm looking around on TV. I'm trying to see if I see some motherfucking aerosexuals, goddamn, with their hand over mouth. Oh my! I wanted to see the vomit come out from between their fingers when they had that brown bag. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see their anguish, man, their pain. Yes, I wanted to see the ones who snuck into the arena thinking they was gonna have a smoking Bud Pack shirt on and take a group picture when it was all over. I wanted to see your pain that night. And yes, sir. And I seen it, y'all. I seen motherfuckers turn and look at each other. And look, it was almost like they saw the Twin Towers, man. Real talk. It's almost like they seen something tragic. Like somebody actually lost, like the look they had on their face, y'all. It qualified them for medical evaluation. It qualified them for that shit, bro. Seriously. When he knocked them down, oh my God. The roar of the crowd. This shit was just unfucking believable. Man, everybody's pulse, I think, at that point, switched up. Terrence Crawford, through all the freaking criticism that and ridicule that he was freaking, all the damn disrespect that he was experiencing, all that he couldn't do this, and he ain't fought nobody, he's too small, he's too light in the ass, all that was in front of him. And what we couldn't feel, because there's no way for us to know how Terrence Crawford felt inside. You know, we didn't know what his body temperature was. We didn't know what his adrenaline level was. His adrenaline level. We didn't know. All we seen was that he was carrying out a thrashing in front of us. Effortless, y'all. Like a sniper to his rifle, he was zoomed in on the target and he was squeezing. Controlled breathing, and he was zoned in on his target. He was lining Errol Spence up so easily. So easily. To the point, at this moment, you have to say to yourself, because I did. I said to myself, lives are going to change right as we know it. I don't know how many people were standing up watching TV, and by the fifth round, we already done texting people that's looking at the phone, other boxing fans. We texting them. Some was probably goddamn talking to him on the phone. They was going over the fight at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a lot of collateral communication going on at that time, yo. Because the fight, it didn't seem like it was going to switch up. You know how the momentum can start off very, very good for a fighter, such as Crawford, right? Start off real nice. And then, Errol Spence may have, had his moment where he was able to regain and take that momentum that Crawford had. He basically was on a surge. He was able to, have a comeback, so to speak. That didn't happen. Did y'all hear what I said? That didn't happen. We thought it was going to be a moment in there where he was going to be able to turn the tide. We thought it was going to be a back and forth thriller. We've been waiting for this showdown for years, y'all. We thought it was going to be a back and forth thriller. Because both fighters had already, everything had been said that needed to be said. When you get to the seventh round, and Crawford is still landing, he's still coordinating ground strikes, he's still causing damage. Madness. It was madness, y'all. You may think I'm just spoofing all this shit. It was motherfucking madness, y'all. This was supposed to be a clash of the motherfucking ages, man. It was madness. He went in there in the seventh round, and we seen the red bottom, shouty. We seen Errol Spence once again on the seat of his pants. He was going for a ride. This was a showdown everybody was talking about. Madness, frantic madness, y'all. Fast and the Furious. Violence. Terrence Crawford was showing the world that everything y'all had said about him, he had basically implemented that into his training and preparation for the fight, y'all. I couldn't tell you if that man wasn't a little bit of afraid walking in there, but I can tell you one thing. I think he was sure. I think he was pretty sure that he did everything that was required above and beyond to go in there and maximize his competitive ability to defeat Errol Spence Jr. That's the only thing I can say about that. You want to talk about deflation. You want to talk about deflating an opponent and his fan base and his team and his promotion and everybody else that thought it was going to be easy. I'm talking about, you know how you have an explosive go off? It has a radius to it. And within that radius, there's casualties, there's damage. Well, for Terrence Crawford, I don't think he truly understands the magnitude of of radius on how far it extended July 29th in 2023. Unfucking believable. Look, the aftershock of Terrence Crawford from the T-Mobile massacre still has people in some way, shape, or form, those who was acutely affected, I mean, took the blunt force of the shock, especially those in the arena. It's still affecting them to this day, yo. Still affecting them to this day, and they would never freaking admit it. Never admit it. That's what they heard, y'all. They sounded the fucking alarms on their ass. They sent the alarms on them, man. People was like, what the fuck is going on? Round 7 came around. They sent the alarms. They set the alarms off, man. They let them know that there were going to be casualties. They wanted to let, from a radius, from afar, they wanted to call all medics, report to the T-Mobile Arena, all medics, all EMS, all medics, please report to the T-Mobile Arena. And you would have just thought it was strictly for the fighters. No, what Crawford did was his act of violence affected the onlookers that was there. I never seen a fighter beat up 2 unified champions in one night. One he was putting hands on, and the other one he was verbally thrashing on the sidelines, saying some very, very disrespectful shit. Said, you's a bitch ass nigga. That's what he told that unified champion when he was next to his girl. Damn. I would say Crawford was on a rampage. I'm glad that he was signed up to fight and it was legal, because he would have been arrested right there on the spot, and goddamn, he would have been in court already and serving his sentence. This man signed up and went on the MFing rampage, y'all. How can you be beating up somebody's stablemate, beating up the other stablemate in Jamel Charlo, and goddamn thrashing, slapping the shit out of the aerosexuals that was in the damn stands? This shit right here is epic, yo. This shit is epic, bro. They had to sound the alarms, bro. You know when they say when it's all fair, love, and war? Fuck that. Not when Crawford's goddamn delying out the motherfucking war, goddamn it. Ain't shit fair about July 29th. You know what I'm saying? That fight ended up needing some order. I don't think a lot of y'all thought that it would turn out to be as nightmarish as it was. How people's sense of sanity that they had prior to walking into that arena, y'all, that they would lose it. Motherfuckers lost their sanity that night seeing that beat down go down in front of them. Remove the soul from their body. Because some of them dumbasses, they was up there bedding the house. Some of them put a bed up that they couldn't freaking they couldn't make. They couldn't pay. They went in there with the hopes. When they was riding in on that zip line, they went in there with the hopes that when they finally touched down, the results of freaking Errol Spence winning, they was hoping and praying. And all they wanted to do, they wanted God to bless them that night. Just please, 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 Father God. Please, Father God. Just one. Just give me this one blessing, Father. Please. If it's anything, Father God, please. They was holding the hands. They was holding each other's hands. You never seen so many people come together as if they was in church, y'all. They was holding each other's hands, was sweating and shit. Niggas up there holding each other's hand. They know they felt funny. They didn't want to look at each other, but they knew they was in deep shit. They said, God damn it, come on, Spence. Round 8 came around. There was no knockdowns. A point where Crawford was pretty much checking in his carry-on baggage because he was about to catch the flight out that bitch next round. You know what I'm saying? It was time to go. But no one knew except Crawford. Who would have known that a fisherman like Crawford, who's used to the water, when round 9 came around, he was going to tug on that line and he was going to reel that big fish in? Who would have known that shit? Who would have known when that motherfucking fish jumped out the water, Crawford grabbed it, punched it in the motherfucking mouth, and then put it up under that motherfucking water and submerged it and tried to drown that bitch? Who would have known that the 9th round, Crawford just went and turned into a motherfucking maniac? Crawford turned into a vigilante. He said it was time to go. Crawford say it's time to leave the area. Pop, 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 pop. And then Harvey Doc came in and gave the embrace that the aerosexuals dreaded. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? 'Cause I'm going to clown you every chance I get. Yes, I'm going to clown you all the way until this 1-year anniversary. After this 1-year anniversary, I might take it easy on you. But you aerosexuals out there, feel free to join when I drop the link. You know, as we get closer, feel free to come and revisit. I want to speak to y'all aerosexuals. Don't be so standoffish, man. I don't have no freaking personal, problems with y'all. I just want to talk. I just want to see, if you can come over here and just provide us with a small reflection, of the rearview mirror on things that changed your life forever from July 29, 2023 to the current date. Because we're in July right now. We have a total of 26 days. Please, you're welcome to click the link when we get to that point, close to the 1-year anniversary. I want to talk to the aerosexuals. I mean, as long as you keep it on boxing, but I just want to talk to you all, right? I just want to see how are you doing. Seriously, I just want to check the status. I want to check your well-being. It's almost like an online a wellness check, okay? That's all I'm trying to do. Hello? You know what I'm saying? That's all. I'm reaching out to Lionel Richie. Hopefully he can be here to sing that song. Hello? Is it them you're looking for? I mean, come on, aerosexuals. This will get you ready for the Errol Spence Sebastian Fundora fight. All I want you to do is be able to get this shit off your chest, man. I know it's been goddamn sitting in your motherfucking throat like a lint ball. I know it's been sitting in your motherfucking throat like a lint ball, nigga. I know. God damn. Whoo, that night. I know. I understand. I understand. There's no chaser that can remove that lint ball. Every time you swallow when this subject come up, you start to go through that torment. I get it. I get it. The shit aches like no other. I get it, aerosexuals. I get it. And that's why a lot of people, they're not willing to tune in. They'd rather tune in from afar. And they wanna make me think that it's a vacancy of listeners on my live screen, reflecting upon the 1 year anniversary. But I know you're listening. Look, you aerosexuals, I know this will never be an absent of thought for you. Because you're gonna goddamn, when you feeling down and out and you're in a dark place, you're gonna click on this video and you can say, I just want to hear WCS speak on it just a little bit. They say sometimes you gotta face it head on. And I'm telling you, you don't have to face this head on. All you gotta do is just find the freaking video and hit the replay, and you can just sit there. You can be sipping on some motherfucking whiskey, some yak. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you. You can be drinking a cold one. You don't have to meet it head on. But I'm telling you, if you want to drink and get your head right, smoke a little bit, and you want to listen to one of my lives talking about, the T-Mobile massacre and that infamous date, July 29th, 2023, let me tell you ahead of time. Just like anything else, when a boxer leaves a fight and by the next day they all swollen, battered, and bruised, I'm telling you, once you sober up, it ain't gonna be nice, man. All the shit you heard me say while you was drinking, it might have kept you relaxed a little bit, but once that motherfucker wear off, you definitely gonna feel the after effects. It's not gonna be a hangover. This is gonna be a hang on. Yeah, you're gonna go back on the ride there, aerosexuals. You're gonna go back on that rough ride, goddammit, off road. That was the whole point of it. That was the whole point of it there, aerosexuals. To remind you on how you fail your fighter. You had good intentions by supporting him, but you didn't support him. You rather talk about freaking Errol Spence. I mean, you want to talk about, as if Crawford didn't have a chance in hell to go in there and win. And, a lot of y'all thought that was just flattery. I just want to talk my shit. That's all. I'm just want to talk my shit. But in reality, a lot of y'all believe that. When that motherfucking whiskey and yak wear off, man, it's going to take you in the wild, wild ride again. Because y'all failed that man. You was busy talking about Crawford the whole time. You should have been studying. You should have been trying to talk about intricate. Maybe one of y'all could have came up with a way, and unexpectedly, you could have came up with a freaking the antidote. You could have had the remedy on how to beat Crawford. If you just would have been focusing on studying Crawford and how he matches up to Errol Spence, and maybe put that out on a live stream, DJ may have looked at your live and say, you know what, that motherfucker make a good point right there. But y'all was so much just focused on talking shit about Crawford all the time that it was nothing that DJ was interested. He wasn't interested. If y'all would have had a dash of professionalism, you probably could have solved the puzzle. But you couldn't do it. I understand. You couldn't do it. Haynes Legacy in the building. Salute to you. See, I've been trying to find the live where we students on the art were predicted the rounds. We would meet sleep experts. What round we were sleep experts, but I lost because Crawford decided to carry for 2 rounds. Yeah, he did. It's called giving back to the community. Those individuals who showed up to Vegas, pretty much you don't want the fight to go into the championship round, so you ended around 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying? What round did Frank get stopped in? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, if you're gonna bet in these fights with these fighters, man, you think it's gonna end early, man. No, man, it gives the casino time to manipulate a little bit. I'm telling you, bro. These fights are ending in the 8th or ninth round, bro, for real. Shout out to the OG Mr. Golden. What's good with it, man? A whole wok full of chili mac and goddamn extra cheese on that motherfucker, goddamn it. Throw me some goddamn grits and Vienna sausage on the side, man. Get me some Texas cheese toast. Yes, I'm good. What time is it? 2:45 a.m. I'm good, nigga. Give me a whole motherfucking goddamn half a pint of goddamn freshly made lemonade on deck. Shout out, Mr. Golden, man. Shout out to you, OG. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. There would be no aerosexual on that day. No, they need to come out, man, and look, sometimes speaking to someone who was on the better side of things, right? Sometimes that when you vent, don't it release your stress? Don't you get it off your chest? Ain't that what they say? You get it out. Isn't that what we say? You vent, you get it out. Huh? That's all I'm trying to advocate for. Peace, love, revenge. That's all I'm trying to goddamn advocate for. I mean, because they was all about the disrespect. They was flattered. They was flattered. They was making it all personal. They was calling the man ugly. You know, they was just saying all these things that was outside the box and bro, making up lies and all that. And then a situation started to play out in front of them, internal to the arena, while both fighters was at work. And you know, I just love in the best way, aerosexual. I just love that you was able to attend. You was able to insulate yourself with that smoking on the Bud Pack shirt. So a part of Bud was with you when the ass whooping was actually taking place. You was wearing the so-called smoking Bud Pack because you started to burn right there. Y'all started to heat up. You say, "Oh my God, it's somebody shut the AC off in this bitch." God, man, I'm so hot. Shit, no, that's not the AC, man. That's the motherfucking heat. You know what I'm saying? That's the heat. That's the radiated energy coming from the ring. Some of you aerosexuals say you were sitting close to the ring, right? I bet behind closed doors, I know you still got that shirt with that blood splat on it, and you refuse to wash it. I know you do. You just waiting for the right time where you can get a little older and get some gray hair and catch Terrence Crawford for an autograph. Yeah, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. I don't think Terrence is going to sign a Smoking Bud Pack shirt because that wasn't his freaking merch. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think it's going to happen. But I know it's a lot of you aerosexuals out there that's basically got blood splat on your shirt that was bragging about sitting ringside before the second round hit. Once the second round hit, things changed. Yes, things changed, y'all. If you want to get, if you want to hear some of the best comedy ever, go to some of these aerosexual channels and put in Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. And when they was doing a live stream and they thought they was going to get mad viewership, oh my God, just check out their natural reaction when the thrashing commenced. Silence. Let me look at this fight, punk. Mm, mm, mm. Pauline on deck. What's good? Yeah, them bloodstained shirts, man. They was keeping them as a souvenir. They didn't wash them. They didn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's near and dear to their heart. Because they was wearing the motherfucker when all the damn violence commenced. When it started to get real, real bad up in there. They was all in the room. Hey, did you get a splash? I got a splash. All of us over there to my, oh man, we the splash sexuals. You know what I'm saying? They was coming up with all these goofy names. They look at that blood splatter right there. Look at that. Yeah, that was good, man. But our boy got beat up. Man, we got to move on, bro. Man, that dude cost me a lot of money. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know how the fuck I'm getting home because I got a one-way ticket up here. I was betting on winning at the casino, and I was gonna buy my ticket home and shit, dude. I don't know what the fuck. I'm about to become a resident of Vegas, man. I'm about to see if Boston Conversations, you know, if I can cut his grass for a few dollars so I can goddamn, you know, catch a Greyhound home. I came up here on a one-way ticket, bro. I put my mortgage in the goddamn lodging and the flight and all that, bro. Man, does any one of y'all got like $10, $15 you can loan me, man? Man, I just need to get on my feet, bro. I just need to go out here and rob some people and get on my feet. That's all. Is there anybody know anybody on Spence team? Do he know he got some fans out here to bet on him and we lost? We just need him. He just got paid. Man, can he just donate about $20 to the ones that don't have no way to get home, man? Just please, somebody get a hold of his team, man. Marvelous Jarvis on deck. You can get Marvelous Jarvis? It got to be, where's Frank at? It got to be somebody that can get, I don't have a way to get home. I got kids, man. Them motherfuckers was stuck. For real. They about to, look, the homeless population went up in Vegas on July 30th. The local law enforcement was like, Sir Lieutenant, we have a problem here. I don't know what it is. I call the airport. The airport say everything is great. But we have a influx of freaking homeless. Real talk. Asking what they didn't want to say anything. All they said kept on mumbling, I fucked up. I fucked up. I lost everything. You know what I'm saying? That's all they kept saying. The lieutenant asked, so how many you think it is? Hey, it has to be, let's see. What would you say, Charlie? About 543. That's what I count. About 543. Yeah. There are a lot of homeless residents up here. I don't know where they're gonna stay. Anything? No shelter. Well, I tell you, this is how we gonna get. I think they are them aerosexuals that lost in there. This is what we gonna do. We gonna goddamn put them in a goddamn wagon. Stuff them in there. I know our capacity is only 40, but stuff all 500 in there. Put them on top of each other. We're gonna take them to Death Valley, and that should be enough distance for them to make it back. July 29th, goddammit, it's about to happen in 2024. You best believe. They don't want to hear that, man. You know what I'm saying? And they all got the same t-shirt. They do, man. They fucked up. They fucked up. They know it. Why are you still upset at the reality? Reality is I can talk about it. The reality is I seen what you seen. The reality is that you was betting on a fighter that didn't win, but not so much on my side. I was on the winning side. I was on the positive. I was on the brighter side. Yes. You know what I'm saying? You never should have put everything. You never should have jeopardized everything to bet on Spence on that night. Y'all never should have underestimated Crawford the way you did. You know what I'm saying? You had plenty of time to withdraw your bets when he came down there with a fishnet on. You know shit was fucked up. What kind of brother you know gonna walk to the ring with a fishnet on? You should have known. All bets are off. Aerosexuals alert. Alert. Cash out. 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 I tried to tell him when he came to the ring with the fishnet on. He came to fish. He was telling them right then and there, bro, this is different. When look, not only that, y'all. Peep this out. I was sending out the word when he won the coin flip. I was like, Haynes' legacy. In order for freaking Spence to have a legacy, tell him to pull out right now because, tell the aerosexuals to pull out because he just won the coin flip. That's bad. He won the coin flip, so that means he walking out second. It's bad, shawty. Tell him to pull out right now. They was like, nah, man, fuck that, man. Man, I see Haynes over there in that motherfucking chat, man. He don't fuck with us anyway, man. Why you over here trying to give us goddamn a warning and shit, man? You don't fuck with us. You over there at WCS chat, man. Man, I'm telling you, he won the coin flip. The storm is here. Okay? The storm has arrived. Them aerosexuals, they didn't want to hear none of it. They didn't want to hear none of it, y'all. They didn't want to hear none of it. Should I go over some of the sayings? Arrow the true Spence can't lose. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I've been over it with y'all several times. Keith Thurman's smarter than Bud. Bud is one of the dumbest because he doesn't use all his skills. Bud has to be on his best to defeat Spence, but Spence doesn't have to be on his best to defeat Crawford. You already know who said that dumb shit. You already know the dumbest fight fan in the motherfucking game said that shit. You already know who that is. He said Bud is one of the dumbest because he don't use all his skills. But yet the man is still 40 victories in, right? At that time, he was 39. But 40 victories in, 0 defeats, pound for pound best, multi-time lineal. And he gets called dumb because he's winning all his fights by not fighting the same fight. And he's been on record as saying, there's no need for me to really look at a lot of film because they're not going to fight me the same way they did their last opponent. Am I wrong? You know, the way I look back at this shit with the aerosexuals, it was almost like a goddamn pageant for dummies. It was almost like watching a pageant for dummies. Who can come out here and say the most dumbest shit? It was like a pageant for dummies, man. Motherfuckers didn't know shit about boxing, bro. That's what it was, for real. They still think Spence has a better chance at 54, but I won't make the same mistake. It's around 8 this time. I should have took your advice the first time. That's if he can beat the Towering Inferno. Well, you know, when you say hope is a 4-letter word. And look, we understand that 4-letter words, right? They're very dangerous. Love, very dangerous. Very, very same, very, very. Hope, very, very, very. Took a 4-letter word, but people lost their life over took. You know I'm not lying. You combine took with have. somebody took, now they have, and then what we hear next? What we hear next? Died. I'm telling you, these four-letter words are dangerous. Dangerous. For real. Fish, four-letter word. Cooked, filleted, all that. Filleted and cooked. Over. Done. No need to talk about it no more. No need to talk about it no more. Over. But I want to give a big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. T-Mobile Massacre, 26 days to the 1-year anniversary. Warren on deck, I see you, man. What's good? Pauline on decks, what's good? Salute. Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official. Debbie says we need to start a hotline for the aerosexual on 29th to help them through the day. You know what? I might try to accommodate. You know, but I know it's going to be some disrespectful, but man, I'm going to try to accommodate now. I'm going to try. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to accommodate. I just more so like the link instead of the actual, you know, hotline. I just like the link because the link is up close and personal. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm gonna figure it out because I do want to hear from any of the aerosexuals that may be still well enough to speak on that. I know some of them. I mean, it hurt, bro. It hurt. You know, it hurt. You know, at first, you know, before the 29th in 2023, you know, they sent a link over there talking about WCS over there talking about shit. You know, they was more willing to come over here and troll. Where are the vigilantes at, man? Oh, my God. Where are the vigilantes? I'm looking for the goddamn aerosexual vigilantes. Where are they? For real, dog. Man. Where are the vigilantes, man? They have all since left. They're going to need a team of trauma experts and links for national and international helplines. Yeah, they're going to need a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? You aerosexuals understand that I speak my opinion, which I feel, even though it's not based off facts, when it comes to aerosexuals, yes, it's based off facts. You all lost it. You all lost it. Yes. I remember, you know, I remember. Hey, one last, you know, the outro. I remember when they, you know, they felt that they was planning a secret rendezvous, y'all. They feel that like they was planning the ultimate trip. Like no one, they didn't want nobody to know that they was gonna be on. They just wanted to show up and say, hey, this is a proud moment in boxing that we can attend a fight like this to see Errol Spence finally be recognized, acknowledged as the welterweight. Look, good intentions, bad judgment. That's all it was. You had good intentions, bad judgment, bro. You went up. You had to understand, like, hey, man, this could really be something special for us. I mean, look, y'all in the chat. Can you imagine how they felt inside? Like you know, going through the undercard, their OG. You know what I'm saying? Going through the undercard and all the fights, and you know you got the main event waiting. You know what I'm saying? Sir Senior, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sir Senior in the bill. You know what I'm saying, Pauline? Like, can you imagine how they, you know, they felt inside, how upbeat and free spirited. You know, they're like, we're on deck, and they're going, they're talking, they're meeting people. Hey, you here? Oh man, another aerosexual. Hey, what's up, aerosexual? Oh, okay, cool. You got your shirt on? Oh, yeah. Oh, they don't even know. They don't even know. We didn't say nothing. Did you say something? No, I ain't say nothing. They don't even know. They up there in a group, yo. Like they some special mission covert ops, motherfucking tactical special forces, goddamn recon and descend upon the freaking T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for this epic, historical beatdown. Can you imagine how they felt through the undercard leading up to the main event? Oh my God, they was feeling so good, but they was so fucking nervous. They was so fucking nervous. And they was up there all that time just running through colas, bags of popcorn, glizzies. You know what I'm saying? They was just having a good old time, just eating, enjoying their freaking refreshments until that goddamn main event was on deck. The main event was on deck. And I thank you for being able to stay there during the first round. I thank Terrence Crawford for not knocking Errol Spence down in the first round, for filling him out. For filling him out, you know what I'm saying? Putting a fork and just moving, sticking it in your food just to see how tender it is. Just moving around to see what the temperature, you know what I'm saying? All he was doing was using he was just using a little bit of etiquette. Yes. A little bit of decorum with his utensils. That's all. Thank God he just let that first round. 3 minutes of pure enjoyment before all hell and chaos. It was madness when the second round came. Could you imagine, y'all, when the second round started and the first knockdown happened? And they got all that damn them high bets on Errol Spence. Could you only imagine how free spirited they was? And then when that first knockdown happened, and they was talking to each other because a lot of them someone was close to the ring. You know what I'm saying? The ones that didn't pay for their ticket, and Rachel Donaire hooked them up. You know what I'm saying? She gave her humanitarian effort in assisting with the less fortunate. Shout out to the Donaire. She did an outstanding job. But no offense to the ones she helped out, though. You know what I'm saying? Some of them was sitting next to the ring, and others was close to the AC units. And just to see the whole fight play out the way it did was just hilarious. The hand over eye and mouth, oh my God. Oh my God. It was just incredible. It was just incredible how I seen Martel leave and find a crevice, a corner. I see you leave and go jump in the corner. I'm here, and when the first knockdown happened, I turned and saw Julina, and I looked at him. We locked eyes, and we say, "No, something's not right." Snack, something's ostarine, the gloves, weight drain. He's in the corner. He's sitting there explaining, look, the arena haven't been cleared of the patrons yet. The patrons still moving out of the arena. Must are finding corners. Hey, people, I don't have much time. And I'm only whispering because I don't want security to come snatch me up. But did you see it? Did you see it? Pure cheating. Cheat. The T-Mobile Massacre 1 year anniversary, people. They lost their minds. I'm telling you, they lost their minds, man. They lost their ever living minds that night. And we're going to continue to remind them of what they lost that night. All right? You know what I'm saying? Until next time, y'all hold it down. Peace. I'm out.